with us. Presented by Forsyth Barr, the mixed doubles curling event this week has been spectacular. We're on day 2 of our round-robin phase. We've got a great game coming up for you this afternoon. It's going to be the Trans-Tasman battle between Australia and New Zealand. But if you were with us earlier this afternoon, you saw another great game between the USA and New Zealand. A really close game with some big ends scored. USA Olympic medalist Joe Polo and Joe and Tabitha joined us after the game this afternoon, and we had a great chance to have a chat and get their thoughts on this tournament. I'm joined by the USA team of Joe Polo and Tab Peterson. And Joe, Tab, welcome to New Zealand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was an amazing game. You guys really had control, but we saw the impact of the power play in mixed doubles curling with the New Zealanders scoring a 4 and then you guys snapping a 4 back. Is that pretty customary in mixed doubles?
Yes and no. I mean, we had a few misses on our part on their power play coming home in 6. But yeah, you never really know. I mean, there's a lot of big scores, big ends in mixed doubles, and so you kind of try to get somewhat of a lead so that you have a little cushion for something like that.
And I've talked to a lot of athletes in mixed doubles over the years, and I hear pretty consistently that there is no way to play defense in mixed doubles. You really just have to keep the pedal down. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Best defense is good offense in this, so just try to get rocks in good spots, and hopefully they can't make a double, and you should be okay.
Now, both of you have had an enormous amount of international experience for Team USA. For our New Zealand viewers who may not be familiar with the phenomenon that was U.S. curling, especially through the latest Olympics, Joe, I'll ask you. You were a bronze medalist in 2006. You were the alternate on the gold medal team in Pyeongchang. Describe what that meant for U.S. curling as well as the response back in the USA.
Oh, it's been great. You know, we had a lot of big support during the event, and then coming home, it was unbelievable. You know, we traveled the country, went over to New York. Guys went out to L.A., and we were getting noticed on the side of the street, and it was a lot of fun. And membership in the States has really gone up since.
That's fantastic. And Tab, you're a multiple U.S. champion. You've played in Women's World Championships. Tell me about the advancement of the women's game in the USA, and the U.S. has become a real powerhouse in women's curling.
Yeah, I mean, really since the high performance program was established in 2014, we've, got some depth all of a sudden, and we've got some strong women's teams, strong men's teams, and we're getting up in the top 20 in the world, and so it's all good stuff that's happening right now in the U.S.
Now, bringing it back to mixed doubles, you two have had success. You've podiumed at a World Mixed Doubles Championships. As you're looking ahead to the next Olympic cycle, how do you balance preparing for your mixed doubles campaign while you're still playing in men's and women's events?
Yeah, it's a lot. But I mean, how can you not play in both if you can? So we're both trying to keep the dream alive in Beijing 2022 by mixed doubles and men's and women's. But yeah, it makes the schedule that much more.
And there's been a real explosive growth in the construction of curling facilities in the USA, I understand. Are the newer curlers taking to the mixed doubles discipline as well as playing 4-person curling?
I guess I don't know. I know a lot of them like to watch it, and I've seen a lot of clubs that have that league. I mean, 4s is still definitely the game to play in league play, but there's definitely people playing it around the country.
And finally, I'll ask the traditional New Zealand visitor question. You've come a long way to visit us here in Central Otago and Naseby here in the heart of Central Otago. What's your experience been like this week?
We've had a lot of fun so far. All the people are great. They're very kind, and they just bring you in like family, just like a curling community does. So it's been a lot of fun.
But really hard to understand. You really have to listen closely.
Terrific. Well, Joe, Tab, congratulations on the win this afternoon, and good luck to both of you for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
Team USA. They're in the thick of the race now as we reach about the midpoint of this mixed doubles tournament presented by Forsyth Barr at the QRC Winter Games New Zealand. Coming up for you, the Trans-Tasman battle that we've been anticipating all week. Australia won versus New Zealand won. Teams going through their pre-game practice sessions. been with us throughout the week, you'll know by now that at the end of the practice session, each team throws one last stone draw, they call it. And this is where the teams determine who will get last rock advantage to start the game. Exchange of handshakes, and let's meet Team New Zealand. Jessica Smith, Ben Smith, representing New Zealand, the two-time New Zealand mixed doubles champions. Ben running to the other side of the door to get the customary gift exchange.
Thank you.
Ben only 19 years of age. Jessica 21 years of age, but despite their tender years, they've already had considerable success in mixed doubles at the national level.
Might go good enough.
Now they're going to have an opportunity to represent New Zealand at the international level. They will compete for New Zealand at the 2020 World Mixed Doubles Championships, which will be held in Kelowna in British Columbia in Canada.
Yeah.
And that's a big event for Ben and Jessica, not only because it's a world championship, but it's also the first Olympic qualifier, and this Australian pair will be there as well. Tally Gill and Dean Hewitt. Australia won. Dean and Tally finished fourth at last year's World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship. Best ever placing by an Australian mixed doubles pair vaulted them right into the discussion of the top teams in this sport. We'll keep an eye on all of the games for you today. On Sheet B, it's Korea taking on Canada. On Sheet C, it's Finland taking on New Zealand 3. There are 3 New Zealand teams in this 12-team competition. 2 Australian teams. As we have a look at Tally Gill, teams now have completed their pregame preparation. We're just about to get underway. So this is really the beginning of the Northern Hemisphere competitive season. This is a World Curling Tour sanctioned event, first mixed doubles event of the 2019-2020 campaign. That will culminate at the World Championships. These teams will compete in those World Championships and potentially earn Olympic qualifying points to qualify their countries into the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympic Mixed Doubles competition. New Zealand has earned last rock advantage by virtue of the better pre-game last stone draws.
It's not far away, can't far away.
8 ends of play in the mixed doubles discipline. If you've not watched mixed doubles curling before, but you've seen curling, there are some differences in the rules. Most obvious one, 2 players rather than 4. In mixed doubles, the teams throw 5 stones each end rather than 8. 2 stones are placed in a stationary position to start the end. And then when gameplay commences, one player throws the first and the 5th stone. The other player throws the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th stone for each team. Each team also has 1 power play, which they can call and use when they have last rock advantage. So when that situation comes up during the game, we'll talk more about the power play, and we've seen earlier today some massive scores with the power play. If you were with us this afternoon for that USA versus New Zealand game, we saw consecutive 4-point scores with the power play in that game. Are we going to see something like that this afternoon? We're about to find out. Australia, New Zealand, the traditional rivals, about to get it on here in Naseby. One last bit of maintenance so we can listen to them while they're playing. Game's just about to get underway. Top 3 teams from each pool advance to the playoff phase. Both of these teams coming into this game with 1 win and 1 loss. New Zealand had a victory over New Zealand 3, but they suffered night 6 defeat to Finland. The Australian team had a big win over Canada and then had a handy lead versus Korea, but the Koreans came back and won the game against Australia. So both of these teams coming in here on 1-1 records. In a 5-game pool phase, you're thinking that you want to have 4 wins out of 5 to assure yourself a place in the playoff round. Both of these teams coming in here with 1 loss. An incredibly important game for both of them as far as playoff aspirations go. Tallygill gets us underway.
6, weight's okay.
Mine's good. Yep, straight. Yep.
5, 6,
Yep.
5, come down.
Australia have never qualified a team into the Winter Olympic curling events. They have had representation when curling was still a demonstration sport,
I think so. Great.
but they've never qualified a team to compete in the full medal Olympics. That semi-final placing by this Australian team at last year's Worlds
Weight's up.
laid down a bit of a marker to
Line only.
the Northern Hemisphere that
Weight's not bad, actually.
Southern Hemisphere curling has got some game as well. New Zealand.
Weight's good. Bumping a little.
Drawing down to that Australian stone, just going to give it a little bit of a nudge,
That's
pushing it
fine, yeah.
behind the tee line. That's a nice shot.
I was kind of thinking playing the nose tap. Last for the tap.
Dean Hewitt, the old man on the ice at the age of 24.
8, 9, 8, 9.
Whoa!
8, 9.
Yep.
Very nice shot by Hewitt. Pushes the New Zealand stone just back out of that red 4-foot circle.
If I pull a little short onto that other one, that's okay. I think.
Ben Smith.
Might be a soft release.
Yeah. Let it go.
19 years of age, Ben Smith. This one is over curling. It's coming into that center guard.
Just leave it.
Who's shot?
We are.
Let's freeze to that one. Yep.
You like that?
Asking the
I think
question,
so.
who's shot rock? Tallygill says, it's us. Australia playing the Redstones.
a bit more.
Hewitt is going to attempt to freeze. In curling, we call it a freeze when you throw a stone directly on top of another one.
6, 7.
Mine's good.
6, 6.
Straight, yep.
9.
Straight, yep. Straight, really good.
Big sweep from Hewitt. Just grazing the stone in the front 4-foot.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that was close.
Just
That was
freeze it
close.
even.
Next week. Price?
Yeah. We tap's okay, but
Australians lying 3.
Sorry.
The New Zealanders with the hammer. Last rock advantage.
yeah, it should be fine. I'll throw it a little better.
Smith can get to the inside of that stone that Hewitt just delivered.
I think so.
Maybe he can get a little bit of an inside flop and get behind cover. Lots of curl on this intern. He needs to get by that stone in the top of the 4-foot. And no, he just grazes it. Just as Hewitt did.
Do you want to tap those up into
I think that's the shot.
Yep. Yep.
We know of a slash or something, though. If we can pop it to there, that's really good.
Yeah.
And sit here.
I like that. Just back 4.
Yeah.
Real cluster
You like
of
that?
stones
No,
in
I need
that
more
red
ice. The last one
4-foot.
was like back 8.
So
you
a
like
good
that?
setup for the
Full
Australians.
ice.
Hewitt looking to tap his own stone in the front 4-foot. Maybe a foot forward onto the button area.
Mine's a little inside.
7, 8.
Yep, straight! Straight, yes!
This is flirting with the center guard.
Ah,
And it is all over it.
okay.
It's a little let off for the New Zealanders.
Okay. Had to get on a bit
Yeah,
earlier.
sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. On the
Wait, was good.
nose.
Really, really close to see who's actually lying shot right now.
Maybe a touch more, because you open trail a little bit.
Ben Smith is going to throw it right down the same path he threw the last time. Just try to promote his own stone a little bit closer to the button. Try to lock it away, and
See what happens.
maybe on their final stone, the New Zealanders might have a chance to make a play for their 2. They've got last rock advantage here in the first.
Whoa!
This one is hanging out a little bit. It has a lot of curling to do. Needs some contact on that Yellowstone. Starting to make a move now.
It's gonna chip it in.
Needs some contact though. Gets it. So he does push the New Zealand stone into shot rock position. You can see the little double tap from Dean Hewitt. Says, all right.
This one in here. Just want to hit like a quarter rock.
Yeah.
This is a jam right there.
Okay.
Chance for the Australians to make a double takeout. Remove both New Zealand stones.
Probably peel.
Okay.
Let's take here.
Yep.
Peel. Just want
Alright.
to hit a quarter, yeah?
So hit here.
Right here.
Okay. Okay.
It's quite thin. I mean, half rock, you still get rid of it.
So just inside the edge of the rough.
Yeah, or just the edge is okay.
Tally Gill. She's from Brisbane.
Is there any danger?
Dean is
in
from
doing this?
Melbourne.
Nope.
Okay.
You got it. Just make sure you make contact with the yellow.
Yep.
If we're over curling, make sure we get the other yellow.
Okay.
Yeah. Not the hole.
Yep.
Peel all you got.
Big weight from Tally Gill.
Help. Ah.
Looking to hit this stone on the
Tally.
inside, but it's tracking. Just noses it. Oh, and she squeezes her own stone into shot rock position. A little bit of good fortune there for Team Australia.
Okay, just a set, that's all.
You think
Yeah,
you do?
just a set.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Ben Smith taking a long look at it.
Probably tight, yeah.
New Zealanders might still be shot. It's really close.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Right there? Okay.
Even if New Zealand's lying 1 right now, really hard to see how they score 2. Be pretty content here just to score, I think. Intriguing first end.
Don't want to hit it too full. It's okay, they can still like it.
Oh, yeah.
Jessica Smith lines it up.
Where is it? Yeah.
Wants to get a little bit of contact on that Yellowstone just to lock away the single point. And she does. Very nicely played by Jess Smith. Single point for New Zealand. Really interesting first end. Lots of rocks in and around the 4-foot. Good play from both teams.
Nice shot.
It's the New Zealanders opening their account first after Your one end of play in this 8-end contest at the QRC Winter Games. It's New Zealand 1 and Australia no score. Good start for the New Zealanders. The Australians made them earn that point.
Good end.
Australia will now have last rock advantage in the second end. People that are brand new to the sport often ask the question, what does the sweeping do?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, the brush is there. We can see the fabric brush. It's Ben holding the brush.
Yep.
Warms the ice surface in front of the path of the stone. It reduces the amount of friction fractionally. For a draw shot, it can carry a stone as much as 3 meters in additional distance. So sweeping matters. And also, the faster the stone travels, the less it will curl. So sweeping, making the stone travel further, keeps the rock on a straighter path as well. As Jess Smith makes a very nice first up draw, right on the button.
Pretty small tap.
Covering the pin.
Yep.
And directly in front of that Australian stone, which is really the important thing.
Do you like the freeze?
Yeah, let's play that for now. It's a bit of an angle. 85.
85?
Yep.
Tallygill.
$78.
Line's good.
7.
Curl.
7.
Curl.
6, 7.
Has to curl.
7.
Has to curl.
Play tap. Play tap.
Curl. Needs to curl.
The numbers that you hear Dean shouting out as he's going down the ice surface is a bit of shorthand about the amount of pace that the stone has. When he's saying 6, 7, that's indicating a destination location in the house.
Yeah.
Communication's so important within the sport of curling. Ben Smith now with an opportunity to play the freeze. Right-hander, this is his out turn. Counterclockwise
Good
rotation.
tight. Close. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well.
Trying to hide behind that center guard. They'd love to be in second shot position. Dragging it as far as they can, just biting that red 4-foot
Do you have to
circle.
run it?
Huh?
Do you have to run it?
Run it.
Where are they? Top 8 or top 4?
Top 4.
Run it.
You like this way?
Like. Yeah, okay. Less.
Dean Hewitt immediately saying run it. That means that he wants to strike the guard stone, drive it back into the pile, or at least open it up.
Straight peel, I guess.
So it will not be the run back, but he will eliminate the center guard. Whew. Just past the New Zealand stones.
Thanks. Yeah.
Sorry, it's a little full on you.
It's okay. Yeah.
Wasn't looking good.
Looks to me like New Zealand is just going to try to replace that center guard.
Do you like that?
looking to straddle that black center line to get perfect protection.
Go forward.
Not quite, but pretty good.
You can catch this side.
This gives the Australians a chance to make a play directly on the stone in the rings.
No. Rusty roll out.
Okay.
I want to sit here.
Okay.
I like
So
forward.
half a rock.
Yeah.
You like that?
We could throw weight at it and just rip them both.
But then they just come and sit here.
Not an easy draw. To throw it perfect.
I don't mind ripping it.
Let's rip it. Rip them both.
Normal?
Normal up.
Well, after a bit of discussion,
Still half a rock?
Dean Hewitt taking a look at it says, I think I can make a double
Yeah.
takeout, actually.
Even a third's close.
Pretty much has to hit what he can see to make the double takeout. He's going to flirt with that guard in the process. Quarter of the rock.
Yeah.
Big risk of a jam. That's exactly what happens. Leaves the New Zealand stone in shot rock position.
Feel it.
Now it's behind the guard.
Just hit that on the nose.
We rolls okay. I'll just throw it over the top.
New Zealand is going to make a play on the two red Australian stones. Their shot rock is well defended by the center guard, so Ben Smith going to try the double takeout. Kill both Aussie rocks. It'd be a real bonus if you could get a little outside roll and get it away from the scoring area a bit so that the Australians can't use it against them. But first job is to get rid of at least one of these Australian rocks.
Yep.
This one's tracking a little bit wide. It's going to flirt with the outside corner guard, gets by. He does make the double, and he gets the outside roll. That's a very good result for Ben Smith.
So throw. Big hack.
New Zealand lies 2.
Okay.
Australia with last rock advantage.
Yeah.
Good situation for the New Zealanders. Tough now for the
Probably
Aussies.
heavy hack, I think. Just straight past the guard.
Hey.
Just straight past the guard.
Heard Dean say heavy hack. That means he wants to throw it hard enough to reach the hack at the far end.
Hey.
That would be enough to push the New Zealand rock out, but maybe leave himself under cover.
Yeah. Mine's close.
Curl.
Hewitt not happy with this one. Willing it to curl.
A bit.
Coming in.
Looks like he's going to get a piece, but he's not going to stick around. Catches it. Well, he does graze and stick around, but he leaves both New Zealand stones in the rings. New Zealand line 1.
Jeez. Just got a little out on you, sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the play for New Zealand. Draw around the center guard. The New Zealand shot rock is protected by a guard stone. There's a good look at it. The red stone protecting the yellow shot rock.
Yeah.
So the play here for the New Zealanders, get another one in there. Get it around that center guard, though. Maybe set up a steal.
Let's see what they play.
Jessica Smith lines it up. Wants to throw it right on that white center button.
Felt pretty good. It made a bit wider though.
Yeah, a little wider.
Wow, it's gonna curl.
The weight decision's in the hands of Ben Smith. On the brush, thinks he's got plenty of pace. That's not an issue.
Yeah.
Now he wants to keep the momentum to get a little bit extra curl in the last few feet of the trip.
That's all right. Show me outside.
Nice
of
weight
it.
there by Jess Smith.
Play a little tap.
New Zealand lies 2.
Whatever you like.
I don't mind the tap.
Okay. Gonna want right there.
Okay.
Right there.
Best case scenario for the Australians is a single point here.
Do you like the tap or the draw?
I like the tap.
Okay.
Yep. You got plenty of room.
So just inside edge.
Yeah.
Australia's just going to throw tap weight, just enough to bump
You
the
just
New
want
Zealand
like
stone.
an 80, about here.
Okay.
It's not quite edge.
Okay.
Yeah. 80.
Yep.
Delicate shot here for Tally Gill. Quiet takeout. Just to navigate past the guard stone and then have it curl enough to stick around.
Weights, good. Back four.
Nice, good.
Back four.
Help.
Sure.
Whoa.
Back four.
Line's good. Yep.
Is she going to have enough momentum to push the New Zealand shot out of shot position?
Shot.
Yes, she does. Just enough. Very delicate but lovely touch from Tally Gill. Just enough to push the New Zealand stone back to score a single point. Thought for a moment there that one was just going to run out of steam, but single point it is at the QRC Winter Games mixed doubles curling event presented by Forsyth Barr after 2 ends of play. We're deadlocked at 1.
On this side?
Yeah, I
or?
like that side. Still 80, you reckon?
Yeah, that was a 72.
Okay.
So 80, 85.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lock it on.
Yep. Got lots of time.
Control of last rock now.
Speed,
Flips
pretty
back to the Kiwis.
I think.
Yeah, I really like how it curls.
Yeah.
I think still just inside.
I do
Maybe
too.
a little bit less. Or do you like just inside?
Just inside.
Okay.
I think I can
Giving you
hold
enough
it early if
rotation?
needed. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, nice and straight.
Yep. 80.
Yep. I don't know.
Okay.
6.
Line's
6.
good. Straight. Straight. Straight.
Shot. Beauty.
Did it need to be straight?
Nope.
Good stone
Nice
from
curl,
Gill.
that's fine.
Thanks for ignoring me.
Jessica Smith.
What's the white lights?
She has represented New Zealand with the national women's team at Pacific Asia Curling Championships.
White only.
Just taking its time to finish. Grazes
Lock
the
it up.
Aussie rock.
Even top water, I don't mind.
Yeah. You like this way?
Yeah, I know that.
This Australian pair playing with such confidence. That semi-final finish at Worlds last year has really elevated their own self-belief.
Line's good.
Fine.
Straight, yep.
Straight down.
There is no dedicated curling facility anywhere in Australia, so the top-level Australian curlers spend a lot of time in Naseby. They'll come over here to train. They even hold their Australian national championship here. And that was a very nice shot by Australia.
Top two.
Ben Smith.
Wave and tie, yep. What's the white light?
needs to get a little bit of movement on the top stone. Just trying to bump it and nudge it back and create a bit of a pocket, and that's exactly what he's done. Nice shot by Ben Smith.
What are we counting?
Huh?
What are we counting?
1, 2. You like putting another one in? They have the tap.
Yeah, if we go down button, to make it tough for him.
Yeah? You like it?
Yeah. Top button.
Yep.
Australia knows that New Zealand can tap their own stone up, so they're going to try to get to the button first. Draw shot here by Dean Hewitt.
This might curl a bit.
Mine's good. Mine's good. Straight, yep.
Great look here of the path of the stone as it approaches the rings.
Need help?
Yep.
As the stone starts to slow down, it curls more. Comes to rest just short of where they wanted it.
Okay. Or do you want to come this way? Leave that. Yeah.
New Zealand is going to come down that exact same path. They're going to try to get their stone right to the button.
Yeah, it was.
Sit directly on top of that Australian stone just at the back of the button.
Just top 2. Do I have it, eyes?
Ben Smith lining it up. He's got a bit of execution tolerance here. Heard them say top 2. That means they just want it in the front of that 4-foot circle, but if he's a little bit heavy, he's got stones in the back of the button that he can rest against. This one has got a lot of curling to do, however. It's a little bit offline. Needs to finish. Does push the Australian stone back to the back of the 4-foot, so New Zealand lies, well, second and third shot right
Let's
now.
have back to here.
You're playing back 4?
Yeah. Just to there. If we can roll right under here, it's great.
Yeah, I think so.
But even that's okay.
Yeah. So,
Back 4.
nose or just inside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Inside to call it.
You like that?
Should be close.
Big shot here, Hewitt, trying to get to that New Zealand rock to the right-hand side of the red 4-foot circle, the yellow stone. That's his target rock. Just wants to get a little bit on the inside of that, get a little inside roll behind cover. That would be ideal for Australia.
Back 8.
Four.
Back 8.
Curl.
Back 8.
Mine's good.
Sure.
Straight. Whoa.
Lots of room here for Hewitt. Now it's starting to make a move.
Whoa.
Very good looking shot. That is a beauty from Dean Hewitt. He does get the little inside roll, and Australia lies 2.
That's pretty close.
Pretty close.
Can't drive that in the front.
Yeah, I know. That's why I just wanted to be sure it was by that.
New Zealand has been saving this shot for a few stones now, and now's the time to play it. Ben Smith says, okay, nice shot, Dean, but we've still got this little yellow angle tap, and just gonna try to glance that yellow stone on the left-hand side of our picture on the outside, just push it on an angle into the button area, leave themselves lying 1.
Whoa. Got a curl. Got a curl. Got a curl.
Needs to finish a little bit more. Oh, very nice stone from Ben Smith. That is a beauty.
Okay.
If you just roll to there, that's still fine.
Okay.
At the moment, they've got a really tough draw to even get 2.
Okay. Okay.
But same shot as last time, yeah?
Yep.
To take here with no set,
Yep.
just half a rock.
Half a rock.
Even a third. Third works.
With heel.
Yep.
So Australia will once again try the big weight inside double takeout. Taliagill tried this shot 2 ends ago, tracked a little bit straight. Harder you throw it, remember, the less it curls. New Zealand would have liked that delivered stone from Ben Smith to maybe go forward another couple of inches. Then this shot would not be there, but
Just inside
it is.
the edge of the rock?
Just, yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
Target stone is the yellow stone on the left-hand side of the rings. As we look at it, wants to hit the inside of that rock, jump to the inside, push the New Zealand stone out the side door.
Yeah! Whoa, whoa!
I think so. Cool.
Well, just noses it, no inside action. We heard Dean Hewitt say, really tough draw for 2. How do you get 2 if you're New Zealand?
Okay.
You've got 1.
Tolerance with those ones, yeah. I'll keep it
Saw Jess Smith just patting the ice on the edge of the button area. She says, okay, well, we're just gonna have to draw it on the tee line right beside our own stone, and maybe, just maybe, we can wiggle another one in there for a second point. Target area is about the size of a postage stamp.
Nothing, nothing yet. Nothing yet. Okay.
Jessica Smith, how about that?
Yeah, pull that one out.
1 for sure.
We got to measure just in case.
They're going to call the officials onto the ice to make a measure, but talked about Jess Smith's target area being the size of a postage stamp. Well, Jessica Smith absolutely delivered on that one. Threw it right to the spot. That's the only spot she could get to even have a chance of scoring a second point. And it's close. She may have done it. We're going to know in a minute. This is where we get to play along at home with the officials. Try to guess. Who you got? Red? Yellow? Who's it going to be? That red one's out of the picture. Amazing. A 2-point in for New Zealand after an unbelievable final stone by Jessica Smith. Perfect draw, throwing it to the spot. That's a pair, and that deserves a big smile, Jess Smith. That was an absolute ripper of a shot. After 3 ends of play, New Zealand jump in front by a score of 3-1. You're enjoying live coverage on Sky Sport of the QRC Winter Games Mixed Doubles Curling event. Day 2 of pool play in this 12-team event. Feature game for you this evening. The Trans-Tasman rivalry, Australia versus New Zealand, and it's living up to the billing. Close game, but a fantastic last stone draw on the 3rd end by Jess Smith. Puts the deuce on the board for the New Zealanders, and they hold a 3-1 lead after 3.
Post for line.
Ben Smith working this one, trying to drag it as far forward as he can.
This way.
I just bought him 4 foot.
Okay.
Want to freeze? You just tuck one slightly around it, it's good too.
Okay.
Yeah.
85.
Yep.
Okay.
Australia with last rock here in the fourth end of this 8-end game. If we're tied after 8, we'll play an extra end.
Soft on the handle.
Yeah.
7, 8, 8, 8.
Mine's good.
Eight.
Straight. Mine's good. Jump straight.
This stone's really starting to move by the center guard, but I don't think it's going to get past the stone in the front 8 foot. Just nudges
That's
the New
fine.
Zealand
I
stone.
don't mind that.
Not a
Pretty good.
bad spot to leave it for the Aussies.
Sorry. There.
Red stones belong to Australia. They've got last rock advantage here in the fourth.
Yeah.
Ben Smith. Bearing a fairly remarkable resemblance to the other Ben Smith that New Zealanders are familiar with.
Mine's really good.
All Blacks named their
Oh,
World
good
Cup
curl.
team earlier on today.
Good curl
But
tuck.
the focus of our action here in Naseby, it's all about the curling.
Coming.
And this Ben Smith
That.
is trying to draw one
Tapping.
into that scoring area. Just gonna graze that Australian stone, flip over into the front of the 4 foot. Nice shot.
I'd like to tap
We're
down.
sitting top ball.
I'd like to tap down.
This one
Just
back.
that, yeah, and then roll to the other. Just like back line.
There.
Hit half a rock or
Dean Hewitt wants to make a play on the New Zealand stones. So they'd just like to tap them back, push them behind the
back
tee
line
line.
hack. Hack. Hack.
3.
Hack. Hack.
Yes, straight. Sorry.
That's right.
I just didn't want it to jump.
Yeah, it's fine.
Smidge wide, just a little less wide.
Australian stones are accumulating. Important that New Zealand gets another one into that button area. Remember, the Aussies do have last rock.
Hey? Looks better. Yellow bit.
Good looking line for Ben Smith. Just gonna feather this stone again and flip it across. Just grazes it, bites front button. It's a pretty good spot.
We can ever get to the inside of this and get both. You almost want to crutch this
Okay.
so we don't jam on this one. Just sort of like control.
Normal. Control.
Yeah. The guard.
To get
We're
there,
hitting flop, it's pretty good.
he's going to need to get really close to that center guard. Good look at it
You
here.
like that, Ice?
I do.
Crashes the front.
Sorry.
That was the risk.
Sorry, that wasn't the comments.
Guard up. On this side? Sorry.
Yeah. Did that touch? Probably is still touching.
Do you want to throw it this side? Yeah.
Interesting decision now for the New Zealanders.
Yeah.
They're electing to play the guard, defend the shot rock. I think this time to make the guard, they kind of like to guard both of them a little bit if they can to take away that chance of a double takeout. Show the Australians the outside edges of either rock, but don't give them a path to the middle of the two rocks. Otherwise, the Australians might have a chance to score 4.
Smidge tight. Got a curl.
Ben Smith says that might be a little hot. Not the end of the world if they come into the rings as long as they don't set up bad angles.
Just leave it. Leave it, leave it.
It's
You
not
can always
terrible.
play the same shot. We'll hit this one first, and they might actually roll up to gear a little bit. Yeah.
3 rocks to come,
You want
2
to rub
for
that
the
yellow
Australians,
into the 2
Hit
yellows.
that one. Hopefully
1
comes
for
up
the
to
New
gear a little bit.
Zealanders.
Good peel. Pretty much nose.
Okay.
Fraction high or low side, you get a bit of a roll.
Okay.
So Hewitt wants to drive that front Yellowstone straight back, spring out both of the New Zealand rocks. That will leave New Zealand a stone in the forefoot, but the Australians could be lying 2 if he makes it. It's close. There they go. Great shot, Dean Hewitt.
Pretty good.
That is pretty good. Danger signs now for Team New Zealand. You've got one biting the forefoot, but your 3rd shot, your opponent's got the hammer. Time to think about risk and reward. Maybe time for some damage limitation.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is a chance that the New Zealanders could make a double takeout on the 2 red stones on the right-hand side of our picture.
Oh, yeah.
Then you're conceding the Australians a chance to make a shot for 3.
Wait, freeze. What? Sit on it. Hit it. Yeah? What weight? Control? This handle?
Sounds like the New Zealanders want to play a downweight takeout shot. They could hit the front stone, front of the forefoot, roll to the inside, maybe squeeze off their own and leave their own stone sitting shot. So I think that's going to be the play. Tough shot.
Smidge more.
Oh, this looks narrow. It's inside the target line. Is she going to drive her own stone out? Yes, she has. She is going to remove 1 Australian rock.
Okay. Whew. Gonna play like board or something?
Yeah.
What's this? Just through there, yeah?
Yeah.
So 1 stone remaining.
Yep. Board?
Did that one touch tight?
Talia
I don't know.
Gill,
It won't matter.
Okay.
opportunity here to score 4.
That board?
That would be
Or
huge.
control?
Well, is it coming this way?
Yeah, out turn all day.
Okay. Maybe control.
Okay.
Or do you like board?
It's up to you.
I like control.
Okay, I think control here then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any contact on the brush side of the yellow rock gets the Australians 3.
Yeah. Should be close. Not too far off my line,
What they're wanting to do is
which tick the guard.
hit about 2/3 of the Yellowstone on the left-hand side of the picture as we're looking at it now.
Yeah, just edge
Save
that
their
right
shooter and they would score 4.
one. Just control. One hit.
Risk for the
Three-quarter
Australians if it
works.
overcurls and
2/3
drives the
still
Yellowstone
get it,
straight
still
back.
around.
Okay.
Could jam on the New Zealand stone and New Zealand could wind up
310.
stealing the end.
320 is fine.
So big shot here for Australia's Talia Gill. She's got a piece. Is she going to stick around?
Oh,
There's the
beauty.
hit. Get some contact. This one will stick around, so it's a score of 4 for Australia. Boom! A huge end for the Aussies.
Good shot. Good tolerance, yeah?
Thanks.
I think it's slightly inside, back up nice. And then
At the QRC Winter Games Mixed Doubles Curling presented by Forsyth Barr, we've reached the halfway point in this game. Australia trailing by 2 and coming into the 4th. A huge 4-point end puts them in front by a score of 5-3. And that is mixed doubles curling, folks. Things can change so quickly. tomorrow morning, more mixed doubles curling tournament action. 9 a.m. tomorrow, we'll have New Zealand 2 taking on Japan. So I know you've been enjoying the curling. More coming your way tomorrow. Be sure to join us. 2 other games going on this evening. On Sheet B, Korea and Canada, they are deadlocked at 2. And another close game on Sheet C, Finland with a narrow 4-3 lead over New Zealand Team 3. Courtney Smith, Hamish Walker. This Maniatoto International Curling Rink opened in 2005. 1 year before this man, Marco Uusipaavalniemi, won a silver medal at the Torino Olympics in 2006. Enjoyed Marco and Esther Juhas earlier on in the event. Saw some amazing shooting. And it's terrific to have yet another Olympic medalist competing here in Naseby. Here's Courtney Smith. Teammate Hamish Walker. Looking to bring this stone into that red 4-foot circle, just fractionally short, but a good line from Courtney. All 3 New Zealand teams representing this week are teenagers or in their early 20s. Here's Esther Juhas, one half of Team Finland, along with her teammate Marco Uusipaavalniemi. This is actually Esther's 3rd trip to New Zealand over the last 12 months. She and her Finnish World Women's team competed here in January when the World Championship World Qualifying event was held right here in Naseby. They qualified for that World Women's Championship, so Esther has got happy memories of this building. She's had success here. Courtney Smith, Hamish Walker, part of the New Zealand Youth Brigade representing this week at the QRC Winter Games Mixed Doubles Curling Competition. All of the 6 New Zealand athletes competing here this week grew up in this area. They grew up with this facility. They grew up with mixed doubles curling. Now, as they approach young adulthood, their skills have improved to the extent that they are competing with the very best in the world. We have some of the very best in the world at this World Curling Tour sanctioned event.
85 would be good. Yep. Remember the time, so top button, we can work with that too.
As we return to our feature game, Australia versus New Zealand. A big 4-point end by the Aussies in the 4th gives them a 5-3 lead as we start the second half.
Okay, let's go.
Both teams still have their power play to use. Neither have used it as yet. In that 4th end, I was talking about the danger of the Australians accumulating stones. And you could just sense it was building up. New Zealanders made some pretty decent shots, but the Australians capitalized and scored a big 4. The stone's going to slide a little deep.
Go. A little bit out there, I guess. Okay.
That first rock of the 5th end curse, I call it. There's a little bit of ice maintenance that gets done by the ice crew at the halfway point. Usually that means the first couple of stones of the following end, the pace is a little bit quicker, and I think that fooled Talia Gill.
Hey, room.
It's not bad, actually.
Nothing.
Oh, nah, T-line.
See how much pace there is in the ice.
Yeah.
As that stone just glides, but carries on all the way into the button area. It just passed that tee line. Behind the center guards, though, New Zealand lies 2. Dean Hewitt.
Not really sure.
Mine's good.
7,
Whoa, we got room.
7, 8,
Curl.
7, 8, 8, 8, 8.
Curl. Has to curl.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Bounce.
So you're going to come this side as well.
It's had a little wobble, so I gave it a little extra.
It's okay.
New Zealand lies 1. Nice pocket, though, if they could sit their own stone in the front of that red 4-foot circle, somewhere in front of all of those 3 back stones. Makes it really difficult for the Aussies to deal with.
Yeah. It's okay.
Ben Smith lines it up.
Mine's good.
Okay, weight's pretty close. Top 2.
A new generation of New Zealand international curlers on display this week in Naseby. Nice shot for Ben Smith. That's a good spot.
That's there. Yeah, and just sit right there.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
What?
Half a rock?
No, like 3/4. We don't want to roll.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just on the natural arc. It should push it that way.
You playing back 4?
Yep.
Ben and Jessica are
like
brother
that?
and sister.
Yeah, it should be close. Back 8.
Mine's good.
8, 9, 9,
Mine's good.
9.
Ball has to curl.
Sure?
Yep. Straight, yep.
This one's going to push the New Zealand stone almost directly straight back.
Okay.
Now this makes it interesting.
Sorry.
New Zealand lying
Do I want to come here?
first,
Or like
third, and fourth shot right now.
We come near. That's
Talked about the last end, the stones accumulating.
Yeah.
Stones now accumulating
Yeah.
for the New Zealanders. Cool customer, Ben Smith.
Sorry.
Looks like the call here is the out turn draw into the button area. Just want to tuck around that red stone in the front of the 4-foot circle.
But tight. Close.
Weight's all there.
Close.
Weight's close.
Yep. Yes!
Line only.
Just gonna tap that one a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine.
A little bit
Like
of,
a raise.
I wouldn't
Just
say
that breeze.
miscommunication. Jessica Smith said that was going to be narrow. Asking Ben to
It's
sweep.
too heavy to
Right on
Ben
nose,
said, no,
yeah.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
sweep it. I'm a bit too heavy.
Need a little more ice. I just want to
Wound
throw
up
a T-line
clipping the
back
stone
and
back
forth.
here, and then he just
Like
freezes
that?
on it.
A little less. Yep.
It's okay to improvise. You just need to let your teammate know what plan B might be, what you've got in your mind. Rock's in good positions, but the danger stone for the New Zealanders, that red Australian stone just to the left of the center guard. Dean Hewitt going to try to promote that one right now.
Eight. this time. 8.
Whoa, has to curl.
Oh, yeah. 8.
Stone will curl late.
Yeah,
Will
we
it
got a
curl
little bit.
enough? He does nudge it across into the front of the button, but New Zealand is still lying 1. Now New Zealand can think inside double takeout. This has been a shot the Australians have tried a couple of times in this game, and now it's the Kiwis' turn.
Do you want to play the in turn?
Do you want to play the out turn?
Yeah, I like the out turn.
Wants to strike the red stone to the left of the brush of Jess Smith. Catch it thin, jump sideways, punch the other Australian stone out the side door.
For the out turn, I think a little more. My out turn's not as hard. Like, I don't
But
throw.
he's hitting it there.
Oh, yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah?
Maybe here more. Okay, I'm real full.
Whoa!
Plenty on it.
Nothing.
Is it going to get it? We're going to take
Gonna
home.
get a thin piece, but it's gonna be too thin. Well, he does push the Australian stone out. Leaves New Zealand lying 1, and
That's the ball.
Yep.
there's a pocket for the Aussies to draw to, but boy, oh boy, if they don't make it well,
It's okay.
New Zealand might have a shot at
Straight
5.
there. You want to be like right there.
Okay. Yep.
Tell you, Gill
Yeah, if you do get a rub, that's okay.
ever came up short on this
tolerance.
freeze attempt. Jess Smith with a hammer shot could have an opportunity to short tap the Australian counter out of there, and New Zealand could score a lot. So this is an incredibly important
8-5.
shot by Telly
Speed's really
Gill
nice.
coming up.
Okay.
Just inside the 12 foot.
Yep.
You got it.
Yellow stones belong to New Zealand.
A little more, a little more, a little more.
Dean Hewitt asking for an adjustment
Weight's
mid-throw.
okay.
Mine's okay. Whoa, whoa! Has to curl.
8.
Has to
8.
curl.
8.
Has to curl.
8. Need the rub.
Curl. Curl for the rub.
Curl a
This
bit.
is going to push the New Zealand stone, get some separation. Will it set up a double takeout? Oh, that worked well. Good result for the Australians.
They're coming out
But there
real
still
slow.
might be a shot for 4 here.
Good sweep at the end to curl in.
Yeah.
Hit
What
the
do you
yellow
think
stone
happens
thin
when
on the
it's hot?
outside. Push the red sideways. You'll lose the back yellow
Do you think
stone.
we can get that to shoot?
Exactly. It'll go, Ben. Jess has to throw
Probably
it
gonna
pretty
lose the
hard,
one at the
though.
back.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Jump off the yellow stone. Push the red stone
Because
sideways.
if you do it, that'll go.
That's right.
So the worst for dropping is a 1.
Well,
Okay.
think positively.
Normal?
Yeah.
Catch the inside.
Yeah,
net.
whatever way you're
You're
comfortable.
going to score 3.
I like normal.
You like normal?
Yeah.
Target stone is the yellow stone on the tee line. Jess Smith wants to glance off the inside of that stone, kicking it inward
Turn, yeah.
off the red, pushing the red out to the left. The back red stone will go.
Turn.
Yeah.
New Zealand could score 3.
Wow, never any.
This stone has to curl quite a lot, though. Hasn't got the inside edge yet. Noses it, so it will be a steal of 1 for Australia. Oh, big opportunity there. Just gone begging for the New Zealanders. Just a little bit full with that takeout attempt, and the Aussies steal the point. So after 5 ends of play, the Australians, after trailing by 2 after 3 ends, have roared back with a score of 4 and a steal of 1. After 5, it is Australia 6 and New Zealand 3.
Yes. I think we'll go this side.
And now we have the power play. This is where the stationary stones go off into a corner guard position. This favors the team with last rock.
Double check.
Smidge. It's hard to see.
Players at the other end just giving the visual
What do you
indicator.
Like top four?
Okay.
What do you like, center guard?
No, top 4. Out turn.
Yeah.
Just inside edge. You want a 90, yeah? Tolerance is top 8.
Yep.
If you were with us earlier this afternoon for the New Zealand-USA game, we saw the power play yield scores of 4 points for both teams. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen for the New Zealanders here,
Goal
but
there, 73.
Okay, well,
Weight's close, weight's
2 or
close.
3 certainly would not go amiss for
line's
Team New
good.
Zealand.
Yep. Curl it if you can. Whoa.
Shut.
Thanks, good
Good
team.
throw.
All right.
Perfect weight.
Thanks.
Now, if you're a fan of men's and women's curling, you'd be saying, okay, well, it's just sitting there in the open. Why don't you just hit it? Well, in mixed doubles
little
curling,
soft.
the first 3 delivered stones at the end. Doesn't matter where the stone is in play, but you cannot remove your opponent's stone from play. You can move it, but you cannot remove it from play, otherwise the stone gets replaced. So New Zealand has to ignore that Australian counter and instead try to draw another one around the corner guard, that one a little bit heavy.
You under the tick?
Yep,
You like that?
I do.
Or just outside?
Yep.
So now Dean Hewitt, after having that first stone thrown into the rings, is going to try and play a tick shot. That means he wants to throw a glancing blow on the guard stone. Remember, can't
Back
remove
line.
it from play,
Back line.
Straight, yeah.
but they just want to reposition it.
Straight.
Take the cover away for the New Zealanders. Does make the angle push,
Okay.
keeps
Pretty
the
good.
stones in play.
Yeah.
That is pretty good.
Nice. Sorry, I should have got you one earlier.
It's okay. Hit now, so I don't mind that play.
Dean Hewitt saying they can hit now,
Love playing this shot.
and they can if they choose to.
I like it.
3 stones have been thrown. Ben Smith.
Way bit tight. How's it feeling?
Looks like it's over curling, but it's tight.
Looks like New Zealand just electing to replace that
Just
corner
leave it.
guard. To say I don't love this call. Would have liked to see them make a play on one of the 2 Australian
Sit spot
stones in
there.
this situation,
Don't mind.
whether it be a freeze
Yeah.
or a hit.
I mean, the double's there.
Do you want to play
I'll
the
throw it
double?
normal.
You like algebra?
Yeah, half
You like
rock.
that?
The family firm of Smith & Smith looking on. As Dean Hewitt prepares to
touch
throw
more.
a takeout.
Yep.
He's got clear air past the guard, so Dean can hit the stone on the inside, maybe make a double takeout.
Whoa. Whoa.
Any roll?
Gotta roll.
Sit.
Very nice stone by Hewitt.
It's pretty good.
Australia lies 3.
It's real good.
I really like
Takes out
drawing.
that shot.
Yeah.
So now New Zealand has to
Same way.
switch gears tactically. Now you're starting to think about, okay, we're not going to get 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's
Boys?
work hard to get our 2.
Just hack.
We heard Ben Smith say just hack. That means he wants to throw it hard enough to reach the hack
a little more
in
for
the back
hack.
of our picture, those starting blocks. Just enough to push the Australian stone out and control the roll. He wants to get a little bit of a roll out to the side and maybe bring that corner guard back into play for the New Zealanders.
Probably close to the back line. Gave it a bit of a shove.
Yep.
Ben Smith thinks his weight might be a little bit down, so he jumps on the sweeping. And it does over curl, gets to the nose, but no roll.
His nose
I
always.
don't mind a little roll.
So all the momentum
Or
right
just
now
nose.
is with Team
Just nose, I
Australia.
I think so.
Nose is really good.
Yep.
Just control. In turn.
This way.
Now for the New Zealanders to score a
In
pair,
turn.
they're having to start to think about shots like freezes. Tough shots, high degree of difficulty. Good look at the release and delivery of
Whoa.
Australia's
double.
Dean Hewitt.
Thin double. Or nose.
We're on nose.
Okay.
Maybe
Get
slightly
a
off
little
nose.
outside roll.
Pretty
Sorry.
good.
Covers his
Real good.
second shot rock.
Sorry, wasn't nose.
Phrase on that one.
No,
Where
that's
is
fine.
it?
Yep, I
Pounded
think
that,
that's
that
the
would've
play,
gone across
Ben.
the face.
I agree.
I either play the thin double, or he chaps it like a quarter
Yeah,
up.
I don't think it was going to
Yeah, I
hit
was
a
never
quarter,
getting that.
so sorry, I
call.
should have said that.
Good call.
But maybe not nose.
Lots of chatter between the Australian pair. Constant communications.
They play the perfect freeze.
They are absolutely on a mission. They want to be that first Australian team to represent the green and gold at the Winter Olympics. Ben Smith, freeze attempt. He's going to try to draw down to the Australian stone just outside the 4-foot circle. Wants to rest almost directly on the nose, but to get shot rock, he's going to have to be on the inside of that red stone, so more of a corner freeze, and he's not laying a brush to it. This one has got a lot of curling to do, and it's got a lot of momentum as well.
13:41.
Okay. Sit. 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 Sit.
Well,
I think this is
kind of in no man's land there. It was never going to be a freeze, and I think they might have been better to sweep it
Wanna see
around
more
the
on roll, too.
Australian
I
stone
think that's
into
pretty good.
second shot position, but
And that's crotch double.
they just
Maybe roll
thinned
here.
it going by.
Okay.
That means
we
that
have to
the
get
Australians
roll.
have
Okay.
That control.
Yep.
not an easy hit, but they can see at least 3/4 of that New Zealand rock.
Yep.
Good look at it there.
Center line.
Yep.
Hit 2/3 of rock.
Yep.
Play in the sixth end. The
Just
New
direct
Zealanders
heel out,
elected the
that's okay
power
too,
play,
man.
but the Australians have defended against the power
Yeah,
play
just control.
really effectively.
Like straight down center.
Yep.
You got it.
Yep.
Hewitt jumped it immediately.
Whoa, whoa! Yeah!
Is it going to over curl? Oh, well swept by Dean Hewitt, holding the line.
Good sweep.
Few moments of nervousness for the Australians, but they get the job done and they lie 4.
That's fine. They're that close together now that they can't crotch double it.
Okay.
So
Whew. That was close.
I
Good
think it's
sweep.
better.
Yeah.
Shut.
Nice sweep. I gave it a
Mutual
bit more rotation
Admiration
because it felt really
Society
light.
for Team Australia.
Wave is fine.
Oh, okay. Probably
319.
Was it inside?
Yeah.
So the heat is really on Jess Smith in this situation, looking at 4. Needs to draw a piece of the button
Yeah.
to score a single point. Tough shot. Ben Smith on it immediately. Jess Smith up to join him. Thought it was light, but now they seem happy with it. Have they overswept it? Needs to stop in the 4-foot.
Good shot.
Oh, Jess Smith does it again. Terrific draw under pressure. Facing 4, draws the back of the button to score a single point for New Zealand. That keeps them in the game. Game-saving shot there from Jess Smith of New Zealand.
Not taking the power play.
Keeping it alive. It's still advantage Australia, but that was a huge shot by Jessica Smith. At the QRC Winter Games mixed doubles curling presented by Forsyth Barr, 6 ends are in the books. Australia lead it by a score of 6-4.
There's still one up with the power play. It's a good position.
Yeah.
Score we're 3 up.
Yep.
So,
Good end.
yeah, I think there's a tough chance for 2.
The tactical decision for the Australians, they've got last rock in the 7th. Do you use the power play now to try and put the game away, or
Give up a steal.
do you keep that power play in your pocket
Go and try and
to use the 8th end if you need it? They've elected to keep the power play in the pocket. We're in the conventional
Same weight's pretty good.
Yeah, really good.
setup.
Sweep it a little less.
I could hear Dean saying to Talia, even if New Zealand scores in this end, that means
It's a little
we'll be
tight for
1 up
mine.
in the 8th end. We can use the power play there.
Weight's not bad.
Mine's okay. Wide only. Yeah, a little bit.
Big sweep by Ben Smith,
Sorry.
biting the
Okay,
front
upturn top 4.
of that white 8-foot
We're only
circle.
top 12, so upturn top 4. Top 8's okay too, yeah?
Yep.
85. 90 will work too.
Ben Smith. Long day. This is the afternoon draw, 3-draw day. Mixed doubles, boy oh boy, does it test your fitness. You're sweeping a lot.
81.
Okay, well,
6. Weight's good.
mine's good.
6.
Mine's good. Has to curl. Curl if you can.
Tally Gill trying to draw around the outturn side. This one's tracking a little straight.
Get in there. Okay, Tally.
It's going to slide to the back of the button, so there's a pocket for the New Zealanders to
81
use.
Okay.
The Australians leading at 6-4. We're in the 7th end.
Top 2.
Yeah.
Good chance for the New Zealanders here with those stones behind the tee line to sit in front of them. Maybe set up a steal. Stealing is never easy, but in mixed doubles with so many stones in play,
Soft release.
the chances of generating a steal are
go a
higher
little
just
bit?
because there are more rocks in play.
What's the way like?
Top 2.
Yep, yep,
Top 4.
yep. Yep.
Trying to bring this as deep as they can. That's a pretty useful stone by Ben
Nice
Smith.
shot.
It does appear that New Zealand is shot. It's close.
It's close.
Okay. Then corner freeze or
I think
tap?
they're just shot.
Okay. I don't mind playing a little tap. Yeah?
Tap that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
But just hit like 2/3. Yeah? We don't want to roll.
You're playing back 4.
Yep.
Hewitt looking to tap that stone just delivered by Ben Smith.
Back
Say
4,
he
back
wants to
8.
hit about 2/3 of it, just push it.
Back 4, back 8.
Line's close. Whoa, it needs to curl.
Wow, that's out there.
Whoa.
That is
Okay.
out there. No
Sorry,
contact
Tim.
yet.
Jeez.
He's going to go past the New Zealand stone and
My bad.
move his own
heavy.
stones and spill out of the rings. Just too much weight there from Dean Hewitt on that shot.
We're sitting.
Yep, New Zealand is absolutely sitting one. Yellow stones belong to New Zealand. Trailing by 2, but setting up well here for a potential steal. I'd love to get a second one into that danger area and really ramp up the pressure on the Australians in this situation. Pretty good looking line here for Ben Smith. How's the weight?
Bounce off that one.
If I
Well,
can.
they're just going to
Yeah.
be playing it
You
as
going
a
to?
straight guard. not coming into the rings.
Yeah, I think so.
And it actually
We only need
overcurls.
to
You
hit
want
3
same
quarters.
ice?
We only need to hit 3 quarters to here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because then we're actually counting 2.
Yeah.
Oh, well, 1.
Should have got a bit earlier.
But I like that, yeah?
Thought it might be a bit early in the end to be playing the guard in that situation.
Hey?
What do we do?
Back
Either that
ball.
or we open it up.
No. Just make the
Do you
shot.
like the same ice? Same ice?
Yeah, same ice. I'll just throw it. Lighter.
Okay.
Dean Hewitt saying, yep, I know I threw it too hard last time. I'll just throw it better this time.
Oh. Sorry,
Do I
please
just
have a
put it back?
technical.
Yeah, just keep put it back.
Oh, they're asking for the
Sorry.
clock to be
Technical.
stopped.
Where
Something's
was
happened.
it?
Yeah. I think it was back a little further.
There?
Ah, it'll be because Tally Gill
Okay.
inadvertently kicked one of the stones in play, so the players agree amongst themselves where that stone was and they relocate it. No official required in that situation. The players sort it out for themselves.
Back 4.
Line's close.
Back 8.
Whoa.
Back 4, back 8.
Line's close. Needs to curl.
Sure?
Straight, yeah. Straight. Straight, really hard.
Get under. Good.
Good shot.
Nice
Ooh,
shot.
sorry,
from
left that
Hewitt.
too late.
Yeah, that's that's real good.
Left that one a little late for the sweeping call, but they got away with it. They lied too.
Aye.
Do the side.
I could try tapping it to there.
Here we see the other New Zealand team in action, taking a timeout and consulting with their coach.
It's the most I can throw at it.
Each team gets one timeout to use over the course of a game, where you can call your coach onto the ice surface for a bit of consultation. That's what's happening in the other game between Finland and New Zealand. Coach Peter Becker providing some advice to Hamish and Courtney. Back in our feature game now. Australia 1, New Zealand 1. National champions of their
You're gonna have to be
respective
pretty tight
countries.
on that guard.
Yeah.
Circle.
Yeah.
Jess Smith calls for the sweep immediately. She thinks Ben's a bit narrow. First job is to get past the center guard. This doesn't look like it. Looks like it's going to crash. Big trouble here for New Zealand. And a big opportunity for the Aussies to maybe lock this game away.
That's back. I don't think that's gonna help.
Hey? I might just
I
go.
reckon, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's their shot.
Heard Dean say that's their shot. He's
Top
right.
four's fine too, yeah?
Given the opportunity,
Oh, yeah.
New Zealand
Yeah,
could just
that's
draw
fine.
on the intern side into the button.
Like that?
I do.
Dean Hewitt saying we can't leave that for them. We better play it ourselves.
Got room.
6, 5, 5. When I can.
Yep.
Dean Hewitt likes the weight.
Yep.
Foot line.
Straight. Straight.
Good
Help,
light.
help, help.
Good light.
Just a fraction light. That had outstanding line.
Spot.
Not a bad spot though, as Dean says. Covers the path that the New Zealanders were hoping to use.
What?
Yeah.
Australia lying
Like
two, and
heavyweight.
if they can hold that for the rest of the end,
Pretty much the double.
that would leave them 4 up, playing the 8th
So
and
like
final
bobble?
end. That would be a pretty good
Yeah.
spot to be.
You gotta hit it pretty close to nose.
Okay.
This side of nose. I think you play the out turn at it.
I think the end turn.
Okay.
So Jessica Smith.
Just throw it like that one in the 15,
Yeah.
and I'll put the broom dead on nose.
The shot for the New Zealanders. Hit their own stone, just to the right of the brush being held by Ben Smith. Look for the inside roll into the button area.
Close. Yep. Whoa.
Need the inside roll.
Yep.
They get a little inside roll. Terrific shot, Jessica Smith.
Nice. Couldn't have done much better, really.
Lined up pretty
That's
good,
right,
actually.
Ben.
Get the inside of this.
About the only thing better for the New Zealanders would be maybe 4 more inches
no,
of roll.
No, I'd be throwing like hack to board.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There?
'Cause even if you
Smile
dead
on the
jam it at me,
expression
we
of
get shot
Jessica
rock.
Smith.
Okay.
She's had a great game today.
Yeah, that was close.
The 3 is still on for Australia.
You want to get as much of that red one as you can, yeah? Hit 3/4 or 2/3.
Talia Gill pretty much has to hit what she can see of the red stone.
Board right here, yeah?
Yeah. What's good is board?
Trying to tap the red at the
50.
front right of our picture.
Speed's pretty nice.
Gonna clip it on an angle, go across the nose of
We
that
half
yellow
rock, we still
stone.
get shot rock.
Okay.
They only have to move the New Zealand
What was
stone
the split
about
again?
1 rock width and they can score 3.
Yeah.
Hewitt jumps it right out of hand.
Whoa! Whoa, next to curl! Curl a bit.
Jam it.
And that was a sweeping mistake that cost the Australians. Have they scored a
Close.
point? It is close. Is it a
think it's
steal or
us,
is it a
but
score? Ben Smith thinks it's the New Zealand counter.
Yeah, I got a measure in there.
Dean Hewitt says, I'm not so sure. Ben,
Sorry.
let's measure it. So for the second time in this game, we'll call the officials on the ice to determine which stone is closest to the middle.
Never mind. Sorry.
Have to hang that one on Dean, unfortunately.
It's close.
He jumped that stone right out of Talia's hands. With that early sweep, held the line straighter. That stone curls a little bit more. Australia gets 3.
Sorry.
The early sweep
Correct.
meant it didn't curl quite enough, and now it's down to the measure to see who's got the point. Yellowstone is the New Zealand stone. Watch the needle. Goes to about the 4th click. Let's see the red one now.
Oh, it's you guys, is it?
And can't quite see it because of the official.
Yellow.
But it is a yellow point. It's a steal of a single point for New Zealand. Dodging a bullet, keeping the game alive.
Okay, power play.
This one's going down to the wire.
Pretty early.
Sorry.
At the QRC Winter Games mixed doubles curling presented by Forsyth Barr. We're going to the 8th end. Australia now holding a very narrow 6-5 lead over New Zealand.
We'll take the power play on this side.
We can overhear Dean Hewitt saying we'll take the power play right now. They've been saving the power play for this situation. And this is a situation that is not really an offensive power play, but by putting the stones into the power play alignment in this situation, there is no center guard available for the New Zealanders. The 4-foot is open. Australia know they just need to score a single point and they'll clinch this game.
We're down 1 here, so
So the job for Team New Zealand now then,
go when you're ready.
get some blocking stones up the middle that you can use to steal that point and force an extra end. Jessica Smith. Remember, in mixed doubles curling, you cannot remove your opponent's stone with a takeout shot until 3 stones have been delivered. So this stone, even if it gets into the rings, the Australians can't throw a takeout at it. They can reposition it. So that's the center guard. Nice shot.
Edge of button. Left hand, yeah.
That's right.
So, yep.
Just
Almost
the
left
edge
edge
of
of that
that,
red
yeah.
yellow. Yep.
Pretty tight on time.
90.
Well, we've had 2 fantastic games earlier in the day, and now we're winding up with a 3rd fantastic finish.
Needs to curl.
Second day of group
Mine's
play.
okay, actually.
Line only.
We'll be live with you right through to the finals on Saturday. Every draw live on Sky Sport.
That's okay.
Then pushes
Okay.
the stone.
This way?
72.
Doesn't really do much for the
Yeah.
Australians, though. That's not going to harm the New Zealanders' chances at all. So here's quite a key shot early in the end. Jessica Smith threw up the center guard. Now it's Ben Smith's turn to go around it. Get into the button area, get behind cover. Trying to set up that steal.
Boys,
That theft of the single point that would force an extra end.
wait. It's passed.
Good looking line here for Ben Smith.
Oh. Drag it a little bit.
It's pretty good. Has a piece of the pin.
Out turn.
Dean Hewitt immediately saying, kill the guard. He knows that's the danger, Rock.
Oh, run it.
Yep.
Putting it
There's
back.
the front.
Done.
Now the challenge for New Zealand.
Back.
Put it back, yeah.
You have to throw 3 perfect guards in a row. That's not easy. You've got the potential tying point sitting on the button. Now you have to protect it.
Slid a little heavy, soft release on it.
Good
Mid-time.
communication from Ben.
Over curl a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, no, looks alright.
It's going to be high enough to spout line.
Oh, nothing. Just let it
Stone is going to
Let it
over
sit.
curl if anything. Straddles the center line.
Same thing.
Exposes a corner
Yep, same thing.
of the shot rock. Dean Hewitt says, we're not going to muck about with that guard. Let's throw another clearing shot.
Get under.
2 nice clears from Dean Hewitt. So that's one of the 3 guards made by Team New Zealand. Here comes number 2, coming up from Ben Smith.
Okay. That's good.
Is that just a fraction more?
Yeah.
Cool.
Back up a little.
Jessica Smith giving Ben just a hair more target ice this time. That last stone over curled a little bit.
Popped it a little out, eh?
Ben thinks he released that stone a little bit wide of the
Gonna have to
target
get
line.
finish on it. Come on. Come
Needs
on.
to stay with it though. It will curl hard at the end. Wants to keep the stone moving. That's pretty good. Nice shot.
What do you think? Another run, or you just play like hack weight, roll over here.
Well, if we play hack, then they just come around again.
Exactly right,
Yeah.
Talia.
Do you want to run? It's just if we run, and we could catch this side if you want.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that? Try and catch here.
Yeah.
It won't jam.
So
In turn. In turn. Want to hit like, no, in turn, other side. Yeah. Want to hit like 2/3 of a rock?
Okay.
They did talk about making a play directly at the stone on the button, but Dean Hewitt's saying,
Heel?
Yeah.
let's throw a double clear. I'll hit the top stone, go across the face of the stone on the button, kill both New Zealand stones, and roll my own stone away. Potential match winner here.
Ooh. Yeah.
Big weight. Well, he makes the
Shut.
double kill, but what happens, he leaves his own stone there as a center guard, and the New
Trying to
Zealanders
get up
will
sweep.
absolutely use it.
Get up too fast.
So that's a nice shot, but you see the brush of Ben Smith.
Wow. That's all we've got, isn't
Sorry.
it?
I think so.
Just threw it a bit tight maybe.
It's okay.
Got this up.
just there, eh?
Yep, that's the shot, Ben. Jessica Smith looking on. Coach Pete DeBoer called in on a timeout, but pretty easy decision for the coach here. Nope.
There.
Yep.
Yeah.
You draw around all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Coach
like
Peter
that too.
DeBoer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They felt really good. Just draw the button, yeah?
Yeah.
Unless you want to play the run back. It's up to you. Okay. I like it. Out turns
The
well.
Australians
Good luck.
already discussing what their final stone is going to be if the New Zealanders make this
Yeah,
shot.
half open, then you wanna play. Hey? Okay.
The red guard stone is just off the center line. Jessica Smith trying to draw directly behind it.
The inside read.
If she makes,
That's enough.
The inside of it.
that will leave Talia Gill a draw to the
Like
button
a fraction more than that, I
for the
think.
win. Jessica electing the out-turn approach
close.
on this shot.
No line yet. No line yet.
It's getting better. Gotta go! Oh, bad luck for the New Zealanders. That may have picked something up. Oh, Ben says that it picked up a piece of debris. Some of the fortune of sport, and unfortunately not favoring the New Zealanders today. Such a good-looking stone from Jessica Smith, but it picked up a piece of debris just as it was approaching the hog line, diverting the path of the stone, bringing the stone to a premature stop, and it's victory for Australia.
That shot for 4 was clutch.
But in disappointing circumstances,
Shot here, that would have been clutch.
never a way
That
that you'd
was
like
really
to see
tough.
the game end.
And I actually like giving up the skill there.
But deserving winners at the end of it all, Team Australia. Dean Hewitt, Talia Gill,
I'm confident I'll make
with the victory, moving to 2-1. There's confirmation of our final score at the QRC Winter Games Mixed Doubles Curling. It's been presented by Forsyth Barr. Final score, Australia 8 and New Zealand 1. New Zealand 5.
Looks like you almost pulled it off there at the end, but perhaps a bit of debris that changed the course of that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit unlucky, but